So I've reached the point where I've finished the context section of the FMP, and I'm pretty happy with what I've done so far. I think I've carried out some useful tasks, and I've now got a rough idea of what I want to do for my concept, although I haven't set it in stone yet. I'm still kind of floating around with a couple of ideas of concepts. But I've made mood boards. Well, yeah, I've made a mood board and a mood board using GIFs, and I was planning to make a mood board exploring the use of colour in horror films or just film in general, but I was trying not to spend too much time, and it was taking up quite a lot of time to find all the different images, so I moved on from that. I created a project schedule sheet that I'm going to try and regularly update as much as possible, and I feel like it would be helpful to make sure I'm staying on track of things and keeping motivated. I created a project schedule sheet using Google Sheets and set out key dates and that I want to have finished things by, and then using a color code of, so like green for completed, obviously, amber for it's still in progress, and red means I haven't started it yet. And I'm going to try and regularly update that as much as possible. I have created my statement of intent that I had signed by my college tutor, Ed, and that was useful for being able to set out exactly what I wanted to do and learning the different equipment that I'm going to use. I may need to contact Jane to find out if it's possible for me to rent out that equipment, but I'll get around to that in my research. I carried out a pitch presentation to Ed, my tutor, where I spoke about my idea that I wanted to create a short film and how I wanted to create a short psychological film specifically, and that was useful to get some constructive feedback that I can put into my project, and he helped me to understand what I'm going to need to do in my research. Like, he showed me an example from a scene from Luther of this scary scene where this woman's gets attacked in her home, and he suggested that I watch some psychological horror scenes and try and gain inspiration from that. So I'm going to do that, I think, with Hereditary, which is one of my favourite horror films, in my research section. After my pitch with Ed, I created a project proposal sheet using the feedback that he'd given me to write again basically what my idea was with any changes from the feedback I'd received, and that was pretty useful again to just go over and make sure there weren't any issues with my original idea, and as I said before, implement any feedback that I received and any changes. Reflecting on the context section as a whole, I feel like it's gone pretty well. I've managed to stay motivated and stay on track with everything. I've enjoyed planning it out. It was quite stressful at the start to pick one thing to do because I had quite a lot of different ideas. Like, I considered doing a documentary on animal shelters and animal wildlife programs, and even when I picked a short, even now I'm kind of unsure of what my plot will be exactly for my short film. I know I want to do a horror, but I'm not sure whether, like, what form that will take. So I'm hoping my research section, I'm going to fine tune that and be able to distinguish exactly what it is I want to do. And especially when I'm writing my script in production, I'm sure, well, I'll have to by then know what I want to do. My plans for the rest of the project is just to stay motivated with the work that I need to do over Easter. I need to learn some new editing techniques, which I'm hoping to when we go back to college with Ian. I'm hoping to get used to using After Effects more, because I really struggle at the moment to use it. I don't really understand it very well, so I'm hoping to learn some kind of technique, or maybe create like an intro for the start of my short film, or for the credits would be quite cool. So yeah, maybe something like that.